I was low on inspiration, so I had Copilot, the AI generator, to create a penguin for me. So I chose one of the pictures, printed it out, and decided that this is what I am going to make myself in clay. I start like always. I wedge the clay and I make 2 pinch pots. And this is going to be the body. One other way to make the body is, of course, that you make it all in one piece, cut it in half and make it hollow inside. But I chose to make 2 pinch pots and attach them to each other. The clay I use today is a stoneware clay, and I need to burn it in 1250 degrees Celsius when I'm done. I will also use stains so that I get the right colors on my penguin. By pinching, you can make the walls thick or thin, it's all up to you. But if you have a big piece, you better don't have them too thin, because the weight of the clay might be too much for the body. I slip and score, and then I attach the 2 pieces. When I attach the pieces like this, the air will stay inside and it will also help to keep the shape. Some tools, some more clay, and then just using my fingers and my hands to make the body the way I want it. For this clay project, I used the browser Microsoft Edge and the Copilot to generate the pictures that I wanted. It's really easy and kind of fun to see what AI can produce today. So I just wrote in generate emperor penguin in clay, and then I got the picture. This is now the height of the body, and I of course need a head also. The clay will shrink about 10% before it's dry and burnt in the kiln, so it might look big right now, but I think that when this is done, it doesn't look that big anymore. I pinch another pot, and this is going to be the head. And I close the open end and attach some clay to it. After that, I decide where to put the hole, where the neck should be, and attach it to the body. Always when you sculpt, do the big things first and then the smaller details. So, for instance, the beak, the feet, the flaps or the wings on the penguin, they will come later. If you have been looking at my videos for a while, you probably noticed that once again, I'm in the kitchen at our kitchen table. And my wife doesn't really love that because sometimes the clay actually spreads a little bit of dust around the kitchen. But if you don't have a studio, you have to do it inside at your own place. All through the process, I actually used the picture that AI had generated to take a look at it sometimes and try to get the same proportions and make the same kind of penguin. It's not actually really the same details all the way, but I try my best. It's time to do the wings. So I roll out a slab, cut it in 2 pieces, and then I plan one wing with clay in 2 layers. That way I get 2 wings. I put some slip on and attach it to my penguin. And as you can see, the wings are a little bit too big, so I need to cut them afterwards. Usually when I build something, I think that if you make the big pieces, it's hard in the beginning, but then it's much more fun when you start doing the details. If you make something small, it's easier to make the right proportions in the beginning, and then again, the small details might be a little bit too small. So, big pieces, they have their advantages, and smaller, of course, there. My penguin has now been drying for about 1 day with a thin piece of plastic on top. I can now start carving into it and make some small adjustments to the beak, to the body, and so on. And the good thing, having a penguin at home and building it at home, is that you actually can check on your clay every now and then to see if it's too hard or too soft, and if you can start working on it again. You can't do that in a studio, at least if the studio is far away from home. I use all kinds of tools, mostly a needle tool, some wooden tools, and of course my fingers and some water when I try to make my penguin look the way it should. These feathers are something that AI produced on my penguin, and I don't think that I would have put them there otherwise. Now the clay is a little bit wet still, so the feathers look really rough, but I will smoothen them out when the clay dries up a little bit. I use a silicone tip brush and some water to make it smoother, and then it's time to leave it to dry again. The clay is now leather dry, and it's time for me to put some stains on it. So I paint with white stains on all the places, of course, where it should be white. This will also take away a little bit of the rough edges and make it smoother. If you make a mistake when you paint stains on your penguin, it's really easy in this stage to remove it, just by scraping. As you can see, I paint a little bit too much on the beak, but I will remove the extra when it has been drying for a while. And I will also apply some black stains afterwards. Then it's time to leave it to dry. And this is now what the penguin looks like before the kiln and before the black stains. Well, do you all remember the AI generated picture of the penguin? This is it. And now I have finally made my penguin myself. And not only did I use black stains and white stains, I also used some black glazing and white glazing after the bisque fire. I must say, I'm really happy with the white and the black, but the orange and yellow glazing, they were a little bit runny. But this is the closest I could get to an AI generated penguin in 3D, human made. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you try to make something, not maybe AI generated, but it was a really fun project. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again on my channel. Bye bye.